Welcome back. We back with another one. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, y'all. Not gonna lie. We back with another one. Little three-man weave going on, but it's cool. Finna cook on a lot of topics that we've been missing out on for a little bit. We miss y'all. I know y'all miss us probably too. You know, a lot of big stuff, a lot of monumental stuff been going on around. I know you've been seeing in the football world and everything. Super Bowl champ. We all, to be honest, we all champs.
We are
Even
champs.
even though my Eagles won, I'm spreading the love to everybody. Y'all was showing love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got on the Eagles when they started the season off slow. So I feel like we all deserve some love with them winning.
Nah,
I,
for sure. The Eagles did their thing. Shout out to the Biddy. It might not be my, I guess, quote unquote favorite team, but I definitely, always support the Sixers, the Phillies, the Eagles. I want to see them win. I see you and Sauce. I mean, what's his name? Gardner Johnson.
BJ, yeah.
Y'all thinking about the same thing coming into today. Feel me? Swifties are trash or whatnot, but I'm definitely hyped that the Eagles won. Broad Street was litty. It's still lit in the biddy right now. Like, I it was a crazy night. What you
did
think, Troy?
real quick,
Man.
Troy, real quick,
Um
Rel, did you
first,
go to the parade or no?
Bro, I wanted to go to the parade. I didn't make the parade. I only made Broad Street the night they won. But the night they won, that joint was definitely jumping to. Everybody was still acting crazy. You feel me? But the parade definitely would have been lit. I wish it could have.
I was a whole crowd. You can go, Trey.
I was just gonna say, man, I'll admit when I'm wrong, man. I owe Jalen Hurts an apology. I didn't think he was really bold like that. I knew he was top 10, right? But like now he entering in the top three talks right now. I'm not gonna hold you. And also Nick Sirianni, y'all know I was a big Nick Sirianni hater because I just felt like he didn't know how to run the team. I felt as though he was more of a fan and not really a coach and not really, doing the necessary things that he needed to do with his talented team. But he ended up getting the job done. You know what I'm saying? Won the big game. I feel like their defense was like obviously Jalen Hurts was really, really good. But I feel like their defense was the real hero of that Super Bowl. Like their defense was dragging for real. I'm not gonna lie. So
Is it
shout out to the Biddy, man.
is it crazy? Because I've been seeing a lot of discourse. Because like you said, bro, a lot of people been hating on Jalen Hurts, but that ain't nothing new. I don't know where the hate came from this season because I feel like he was a love figure like 2 years ago when we first made it to the bowl. I don't know. It probably just once you get a lot of success, they don't really like you like that no more. We not losing, but overall, I mean, I've seen a lot of takes that someone on the defense should have won Super Bowl MVP. Me personally, I mean, I think everybody played a big factor into getting that win, especially the blowout win. But I'm not gonna lie, I think Josh Sweat on the D line or Cooper DeJean, they low key got robbed. I'm not gonna lie, they low key
I,
got robbed.
I don't think so. I think it deserved to go to Hurts.
Right?
Especially because everyone and their mom knew that Saquon was trying to break the all-time rushing record for postseason slash regular season yards, and Kansas City was up for the challenge for Saquon. They limited him to like 2 yards per carry. He really couldn't get anything going. They said, Jalen, y'all gonna win this game. It's gonna be on you. Defense played a great game, but if the offense couldn't score, then the game wouldn't have went how it did. So I feel like Jalen, he played great, especially considering Saquon couldn't get anything, really through the rushing lanes. Smitty had a good game. AJ had himself a touchdown. Saquon got involved in a passing game, and Hurts obviously was the leading rusher of the game as well. We got to keep that in mind too. Outran Saquon. So I personally believe he should have won MVP, but uh, I guess I digress.
He definitely had a deserving case. I just feel like, bro, that what that D line did last week was just it was special, bro. And
It
like
was
it's
special. I was about to say that. Yeah, it was special,
bro,
bro.
it
Like
was something I did not expect, bro. Patrick Mahomes, and I even said on Twitter, I'm like, yo, first, like in the first quarter, Pat Mahomes, the way he was moving out the pocket, the way he used his legs to get away from all that pressure that was coming to the line, bro. It was crazy, but it's so much movement you could do before your old line just get blown up. Like they didn't even send a blitz, bro. They rushed forward damn near the whole game, and the fact that they made the impact they did, I don't know. It deserved to go to someone on that side, especially the Cooper DeJean pick six. That swung the whole game too, because after that it was 17-0. And don't get me wrong, heading into halftime it was 24-0, and I wasn't complacent. I was happy, but I wasn't complacent because I was watching the game with Kev, and I told him, I'm like, yo, once we went up 17-0 or 24-0, I'm glad we got the lead, but we have to win now. Like, we have to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We have to get the win. They did it, but I know everybody at home was low-key bracing for that Mahomes Brady 28-3 moment, So
No, yeah, I ain't see that happen. I pretty much knew after the 24-0, 17-0, I'm like, all right, they still got a chance. But 24-0, I pretty much thought it was a wrap. I didn't think the game was going to go how it did in the second half a little bit, like in terms of Saquon still not being able to do anything. You feel me? So it was still going through Hurts. 3rd and long, can't find nothing, run out the pocket, go get a first down. We got a bomb to Devontae. We got, you feel me, just easy check downs to move the chains, keep the clock moving. I feel like Hurts is great at controlling the clock, game management, and just knowing how to find ways to win. I knew in that kind of circumstance with that Eagles O-line that you're not just going to make it difficult for them. You feel me, the Eagles. And I knew it was already going to be difficult for the Chiefs. Speaking about that, just a quick subway, I know we're going to talk about how Jalen's played and competed really good against Mahomes twice in the Super Bowl in the biggest game. What do you think about Mahomes, getting blown out in his second Super Bowl? In terms of Brady, he was down that 28-3, but we know they end up coming storming back. And besides that, all his other Super Bowls have been close wins or close losses. This is Mahomes' second time getting blown out. Do y'all think that should do anything to his GOAT case? Does he not move down? But, I know people basically had him as the number 2 guy, but do we slow the breaks down? Did he already pass Montana? Did he already pass Peyton Manning? I'm pretty sure he's a lock for top 4 at this point, considering he's had the best seven-year run to begin a career of all time. I don't think that's really up for debate. But in terms of how the rest of his career is going to look with getting blown out in 2 Super Bowls, do you think that'll have any lasting impact?
I'm gonna say no.
The Super Bowl I'm referring to as Tampa, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna say no because Tom Brady lost to Eli twice, and they lost to the backup QB and Nick Foles. You feel what I'm saying? Now all those games were close. At the same time, you still gotta look at those losses. Eli Manning was never a great regular season player. You know what I'm saying? Eli Manning. A lot of people even think Eli Manning shouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame. You feel what I'm saying?
He shouldn't be.
See, like, you know what I mean? But like, he got those 2 wins against Brady, so that makes him stamp. You feel what I'm saying? And Nick Foles, he took the mantle from Carson Wentz that got hurt, right, earlier on, and then he straight ran with the team they had. You know what I'm saying? Now Tom Brady, he had 500 passing yards that game, or 500 passing yards, and he was snapping the whole game. I think what it was with Pat Mahomes, I know Pat Mahomes defender, but throughout the whole regular season, I think Jay, me and you have had talks like the Chiefs were not looking like the best team in football. They just weren't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Their record said something different, but they just weren't looking like a top team in football. Like, all their wins were severely close. They almost lost to the Broncos off of a block kick that really shouldn't have even happened for real. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, they didn't really play a defense like the Eagles. Like, I'm going to keep it a bean. Like, in most of their playoff games, they were scoring a good amount of points or whatever. But, like, at the end of the day, they weren't playing. They didn't see guys like Jalen Carter. They weren't seeing guys like Sweat. They weren't seeing guys like Vaughn. They weren't seeing Quinyon, Reed, Blankenship, and Coop. Like, you know what I'm saying? That Eagles defense was different. So on top of that, that really comes up to like, dang, like this game made Pat Mahomes look human, which is crazy to say because Pat Mahomes been running the league for quite some time. Well, like you said, he lost pretty bad in one of the Super Bowls against Tom Brady with that Tampa Bay defense was like getting at him. They were getting at him, bro. And a lot of people think, oh yeah, Pat Mahomes played his heart out in that game. He did all he could. Bro, why does everything switch when Pat Mahomes loses? Were y'all seeing during the game, like, all Tom Brady and the other commentator were saying was just how, wow, man, the Chiefs look depleted. The Chiefs look this. The Chiefs look that. It wasn't even like they were praising the Eagles' defense. They were just making it seem like, oh yeah, the Chiefs were just having a bad game. Like, that's just the stamp that Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs have. Like, they have a terrible game, and that's all the commentators are talking about, and not how the other team was playing. You feel what I'm saying? So now, I think Pat Mahomes is still in that GOAT debate. He's number 2 for me, honestly. I still think he's number 2. He has 2 Super Bowl losses. One was against the GOAT and a pretty bad loss. And the other one was just against a team that he ain't seen in the regular season yet. And he just got his ass whooped. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. They wasn't ready for that defense. You know what I'm saying? And then they also what I noticed about that game, they wanted to shut down the run, and I felt like they just wanted to make Hurts throw the ball, right? Which is crazy in hindsight now, because it's like when he threw the ball, he was damn near perfect. And then he was also rushing, he was scrambling, getting out of the pocket and all that. When you look at Pat Mahomes, like in the second half specifically, when you looked at when the camera panned to Pat Mahomes after an incomplete pass or a sack or a pick, bro was out of breath. Bro was breathing heavy. He looked tired. He looked so out of shape in that game. And it's like, that's what their defense did. That's why I say the defense was the unsung hero of that game. But me personally, like I said, I still think this doesn't really do anything to Pat Mahomes' legacy. I mean, he's been the, let's say, 5 Super Bowls in like what? A couple years?
7 years.
You know what I'm saying? He's only 20, 21, 28, 29, something like that. You know what I mean? He's still a little younger. So, I mean, well, not younger, but like he's still in his prime. You know what I mean? So, I don't think this really does nothing to him, to be honest.
I mean, I pretty much agree with you for the most part. I do believe that he's still chasing Brady. Like, he's never really been on his level yet, even before the loss. But I also say that if everything still works out for Mahomes, he probably has like another 10 plus seasons to go. I mean, if he's on the same career trajectory as Brady, playing until like he's past 40. So he still has a lot of time left to catch up in Super Bowl counts. I mean, in terms of how bad this loss was pretty bad for him. I'm not going to lie, but I also will say that the fact that he's dominating the AFC the way he has been over the past 7 years is pretty crazy, because you look at the way the Chiefs pretty much rolled through that conference, got to the Super Bowl, and got waxed by the Eagles. I mean, it kind of is just a testament to how, I don't want to say how bad the AFC is, but those teams aren't really close to the Chiefs, and they aren't close to the Eagles either. And there's been a lot of like hypothetical situations about, oh, the Eagles team is not really this and not really that, but we just showed you that we just did the GOAT. Well, some people's GOAT terrible. We did them terrible. We did them bad. We killed their O-line. Their offense really didn't get to much. Like Troy, what you were saying, like when I was watching the game with Kev, I'm looking at the Chiefs players on the bench, and I'm just looking at them like they don't have it in them tonight. They don't have it in them. They don't have that spark. They've been to so many Super Bowls that it's not really a feeling for them to have that urgency, especially when they got down so much. So I was cautiously hoping that like we would still win that game, but I looked at those Chiefs players and they didn't really have it. And also Mahomes too. He tried in the first half, but once that second half came, he was done for. He still has a lot of time to cover ground with Brady. I honestly, because what does he have right now? 3 Super Bowls to his name, and Brady has 7. I don't even know if him getting the 7 even covers that, bro. I'm not gonna lie, because with Brady, it's not only the Super Bowls that impressed me, but it's the time frame he got them. I'm pretty sure he got his first 3 in the 2000s. Didn't get his next 4 to like the next decade. So it's one of those things where Brady did go through a stretch of like 7 to 8 seasons where he wasn't really winning in the big game. Like you said, Troy, he lost to Eli twice. Those were pretty bad losses, especially in the season where they went undefeated in the rest of the
undefeated 17-0. You know what I mean? So
they didn't finish the job that year. I feel like that's a big stain. Kind of like how in the NBA, Steph Curry went 73-9, but didn't finish it off. So it's one of those things where, like you said, Joe, I do believe Mahomes is too right now. He's pretty close, but at the same time, he still has some ground to cover. I'm not gonna lie.
My opinion with that, I just think what this game did is, basically solidify the gap in between Mahomes and Brady. I still feel like it's Brady. Don't get me wrong, Mahomes' first 7 years, I do believe, is the best of all time. If he's gotten this three-peat, then this could have, obviously changed a lot of the narratives. But I do believe that it's Brady. Then I have Mahomes / Manning / Montana. I'm really not gonna be mad if you still go Montana. He has 4. He won MVPs. We know Peyton Manning has the most MVPs of all time. Went to 4 Super Bowls in himself, won 2. So I feel like that resume is very comparable. Obviously, by the time Mahomes gets his 20 seasons in, he'll have more to his name. But I don't want to like project that. Yeah, he'll probably get the 2 more, win 1, get 3 MVPs. I don't really know what's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna say that's gonna happen, but I'm sure by the end of his career he'll be stamped too. But Honestly, I think he needs at least 6. I don't think he has to get 7 just for the simple fact that he's doing basically everything Brady did. Like, Brady went to, 14 championship games, 15. He's already at 7. If he plays, Brady played 23. So what? Mahomes could get to, about 7 more in, 10 to 15 years. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure nobody would be. But as we know, the team just need maybe get a little younger. Speaking about that, Travis Kelsey, he's been contemplating on maybe retirement, or he just doesn't know what he wants to do coming into next year. Obviously, he has, Taylor Swift. Money's looking good. He's a top 2 tight end of all time, whether you go him or Gronk. He's made a great career. What do y'all think is going to happen with that whole situation?
Honestly, I think he retires. I'm not gonna lie. I
Mm,
don't think Kelsey really has much left to prove. Also in that game, he pretty much looked defeated too. And also,
they
not
are there. They
they
are.
are for sure. But like he even said that like he wished that he as a leader of the team, he wished he kind of like galvanized the team more, especially when they first start getting down early. And he said that he failed to do that. And honestly, I feel like this whole season he's kind of looked a step behind. And as a Kelsey fantasy football owner, I've been watching him extensively this season and looking at his games. Like he's still the great tight end he is, but he's definitely not the player he was 3 to 4 years ago. And I think honestly, he probably was thinking about retiring after that 49ers win, but the whole dialogue around completing the three-peat was so big that he probably couldn't really miss out on. So I think it's going to be close. I think he probably does hang it up, especially with the fact that Jason hanged it up last year. So it's going to be close, but like you said, they do need to get younger done. I think another thing that this loss showed is that over the years, the front office was slowly and slowly taking away major pieces of that team, trying to kind of trying to bet on like how much Pat can carry the team. And it obviously showed that they need to invest back into that O line. They need to invest back in the trenches too on the other side too. I feel like in the second half, there wasn't really much pressure going to the Eagles O line, and that might be a testament to them.
It
But
was no pressure, and it is a testament to the Eagles' O line. But I feel like even last year's Chiefs defense. Remember, they had McDuffie and Snead. They only got McDuffie this year. They didn't pay Snead. That was a big loss. People didn't think that was going to be that big. And maybe it wasn't. They went 15 and 7, 16 and 1. Maybe it wasn't, but obviously, you got Smitty on one side, AJ on one side. It would have been nice to have both of them guys. The receiving core, we had an injured Brown. Obviously, Rasheed Rice is injured. Kelsey is 3 years, removed from his prime. We DeAndre Hopkins. You seen what he made Chris Jones do? You
yo,
see,
that was the funniest part of the
it's the
whole night.
funniest thing I ever seen. I ain't gonna lie.
But then again, that was a crazy drop, bro. Bro, nobody.
Bro,
Literally,
bro,
when he showed the replay, when he dropped it, no Eagles defender was even in the frame of my TV.
bro. You
That
you
easily,
telling me you in year 12 and you can't catch that, bro? Like what's up,
Bro,
bro? Like
it was like a third down too. Like that.
was the lights too bright? Like bro, you in year 12? Like what's
lights
up?
too bright. Lights too bright. First time on that moment. I seen
Oh
D
my
Hop catch
goodness,
any and everything else. One hand, you feel me, behind his back, and he showed up like that in his first Super Bowl. But you
terrible.
know that's besides the point. I do think that they'll just need to add a few more pieces. I'm sure no one's saying that the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to make the playoffs next year. They're going to be right back in this position next year, competing for a title. So I'm sure they're not overly, you feel me, too mad, but definitely some new pieces should come back next year.
You know something?
Yeah,
Some a position I want them to invest in again, which it might sound crazy, but honestly, I think they should like heavily invest in the backfield, bro. I'm not gonna lie, because it's something that Kareem Hunt, he's been serviceable. Obviously, he was the main running back because Pacheco got hurt, but even Pacheco now, like I know he's in year 3, like he's still technically young in NFL years, but he definitely doesn't have that pop he did 2 years ago. Now, that might be a testament to the injury that he suffered earlier in the season. He probably could never really get into full form that he was. He's a hard runner, so it's taxing after a while and all that puts on your body. So he didn't really have much of a pop to me in the Super Bowl, even in the playoffs too. And Kareem Hunt, like I said, he's in like what year 7. He's just a serviceable running back. Not going to do like too much crazy for you, but I think it's just seeing what rival teams to the Chiefs did when the Niners got CMC in 2022, when the Eagles invested into Saquon Barkley last year. I think, not saying that they have to make a move of that magnitude, but I would like them to get someone that is pretty versatile, pretty can be used in the passing game, can be used as a rusher, just to open Mahomes up more. I feel like in the Super Bowl, I knew the ball was going to be thrown most of the time because yeah, we had a couple interceptions and stuff, got to Mahomes, but the run, I was never scared of the run. Man. It showed the Eagles defense, they stopped the run. And they did the same thing to the Commanders in the NFC Championship game, but I would like the Chiefs just to do something back there because
That would definitely, I think that would definitely improve them. I think their run game is kind of based off, we're worried about pass so much. Let's make sure we stop the pass. Excuse me. Let's make sure we stop the pass, and that's kind of how their gaps open up. I think they have a solid O line, probably not, Eagles or healthy Lions O line, healthy Ravens O line. I don't think it's something like that. But I do think you're right. These running backs definitely proved. We had the conversation last year that they definitely still matter. And you gotta think some of the best performers all came from different teams. Even on a smaller level, like J.K. Dobbins to the Chargers, he had 1,000 yards and he even missed a few games.
yeah,
Obviously, big names like Saquon to the Eagles.
Joe Mixon to the Texans, like
Derrick Henry,
Josh Jacobs on
Derrick
the Packers,
Henry,
Derrick
Josh
Henry.
Jacobs. A lot of these like free agent backs, they went to teams and altered the franchise. Pretty sure all those teams made the playoffs as well. So I think the running back market is definitely still there. I think if we've been keeping up with the NCAA's, past season, this running back class is going to be huge. I'm not going to lie to y'all.
Yeah, and then especially like the big boom that Bucky Irvin provided Tampa Bay, like he damn near snatched Rashad White chain. You know what I mean? Like
Another
he's,
rookie, another young running back.
you
You
know what
feel
I
me?
mean?
Obviously, we
Yeah.
got running backs on the come up like Gibbs and Bijan. So the running back market is definitely back, and I think the NFL is also changing a little bit too. I don't know if y'all really peep. Obviously during the 2010s, it was definitely more defensive. Then it got to a point around like 2017, 2018, where the passing game took a huge skyrocket,
Yeah.
points were going up. But then by like 2022 and 2023, 2024, it slowly started to creep back down. Runs started to pick back up, and the defensive intensity and getting stops became also more prevalent. So I definitely think that the running game is huge. Teams aren't allowing these quarterbacks to just throw it deep on them anymore like that. That little 5 year stretch where the numbers were outrageous. It's definitely getting back to, better football being played.
So I want to talk about the Eagles real quick. We spent a lot of time on the Chiefs. Let's talk about the Eagles. So they have some free agents coming up. Vaughn, pretty sure Sweat is on a deal as well. It's a couple other names. Also, you gotta think now, like we kind of had this conversation after every team wins the Super Bowl, like for the first time like that. So do the Eagles have what it takes to potentially make a dynasty? Now, one of the big things is they just lost Kellen Moore to the Bears or Saints, I believe. Saints. So like this is going to be Jalen's fourth OC. It's kind of crazy.
4 years.
Work. You know what I mean? Jalen just loves getting people hired at this point. So I want to ask you, what do you think it's going to take for the Eagles to make this an actual dynasty and like stamp this as like even like a place to go on free agency? What do you think the Eagles can do to up their rank even more now they won the Super Bowl?
I can start this off, Rail. I would say first, it's going to be tougher next year. It's for sure going to be tougher next year. I do think that the fact that the Lions defense caught so many injuries that they did throughout the year, that was kind of, I don't want to say an easier route, but I do think the Commanders definitely did take advantage of that, and it definitely avoided us to go on the road in the NFC Championship game. And honestly, I still think we beat the Lions, but you never know what happens when your team is on the road. But,
Right.
Going into next season, though, gotta hope that Saquon stays healthy. Like I know he had a crazy year, but I feel like this year was kind of like an anomaly for him, health wise. Years past, he used to suffer a lot of injuries. Now that might be a testament to the Giants' O line being blown up all the time, and
Yeah.
he's kind of has more security in the offense now. But I mean, just hope for another healthy year. Also, I mean, just more of a healthy year relatively. I hope we do re-sign Ball because that would be a big loss if we let him go. Josh Sweat, I think it's 50-50 if we keep him. I don't think it's the end of the world if he walks. I do think we have a lot of depth in that O line. Also, Milton Williams, he's a player that makes a big impact that doesn't get talked about enough. I feel like Jordan Davis been coming down his show. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people called him a bust in his first couple of years, but he made big plays, big sacks on Jaden Daniels and Patrick Mahomes in those 2 games. But Jalen Carter, year 3, he's going to be a monster there. And like you said, we still have Quinyon, Cooper DeJean, and Darius Slay's a 50-50 to return. So
Yeah, I think that secondary solidified. I'm not gonna
we
lie.
solidified. So I think already coming to the season with most of our core guys, we're gonna definitely be in them talks. But I really think like the only thing that's stopping us is health, bro. Because if you look at the other teams, like Detroit's gonna be back for sure, but I still like us over Detroit in any scenario.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is San Francisco gonna be back? We don't know. Debo requested a trade. They've been having a lot of injuries. Ayuk probably not gonna be back for most of next year. And CMC, he's all but banged up at this point. So I feel like SF is a big question mark. Other teams, a sleeper that I think could be a big contender in the NFC next year is the Packers. I'm watching out for them. I think they could have a big year with Josh Jacobs' second year being there, Jordan Love taking another step, and if they do address the wide receiver position, I don't know if y'all heard what Josh Jacobs said, how the team needs a wide receiver one. Like I feel like that was
so I'm not gonna lie, like that was crazy, but like he wasn't wrong, but that's just something you don't say.
You don't say that.
And then Dontavion Wicks was like laughing. I'm like, bro, you finished with 400 yards the whole season. Like you should be one of the niggas cut if we're gonna be honest. But that's just me. That's just me. But honestly, yeah, they just don't have a solidified wide receiver one. Like Aiden Reed, we've seen games live where he just doesn't do anything.
He's a wild card, bro. He's a
Christian Watson made of glass. You know what I'm saying?
They got a whole bunch of
here and there's
B minus guys,
right, like,
and they got a lot of them. I feel like Jaden Reed would be a perfect third option. Christian Watson would be a perfect third option.
Glorified slot receivers, bro.
Romeo Dowd would be a perfect third option.
Really.
Maybe even though they all could be twos, but they aren't, necessarily ones. I think that was, Aaron Rodgers is. I do think he's a blame deflector, and for all that's worth, but like this last season there, he was working with the same receiving core. We know he was complaining about it. Obviously, I think he should have been a better leader, but maybe he was on to something. You feel me? When he was saying like the receivers weren't, I guess, doing what they were supposed to do. I'm really not trying to hear that because Jordan Love made the playoffs twice with the same group, but maybe Aaron has something to do with that, or a little point when he was saying that. But in terms of the Eagles, I definitely think they'll be basically right back in the same position. As long as I think the most important thing for this team specifically is the offensive line and Jalen Hurts. I feel like those kind of are the leaders of the whole group. Jalen is a lead by example kind of guy. He's mostly caring about the wins. He's not I care for the stats. I care for the glory. He always shouts out his O-line, his running back, his receivers, his defenses. So as long as they bring back that group, obviously Saquon's health. I think you're right. Like with the Eagles O-line, he's going to be cool. Honestly, and from the facts that we know from the past, 3-4 years, the Eagles have been a top 2 running team, regardless of Saquon being there or not. Obviously, I think he puts them over the top, but I think they'll be fine in terms of running. They'll be one of the best run teams. They have like you said, their secondary basically locked up. Their young guys, Jalen and Jordan, probably the best D-tackle duo in the league right now. Bond, I think only way you get him back, he's gonna have to take lots of money. And I wouldn't really be surprised either because they were the team that gave him a shot and brought him to where he is right now. You feel me? He wasn't a big name when he was with the Saints. He only signed to 1 year for a reason. He wasn't some guy who was doing, a lot or making the most of the situation with the Saints, for whatever reason it could be. But he flourished in the Eagles system. And it all worked out. I'm sure he wouldn't mind playing next to Nolan, Jordan, Jalen. You feel me? All these young guys again. I think the Eagles are going to be right back where they are. You feel me? Since we started the podcast, and this was even 2023 when they lost first round to the Buccaneers, I said this is the most talented team in the league. Like from what I see, and it's been that way for the past 3 years, realistically.
Right, and just to build on what you were saying, like it's kind of a different situation, like you said. The Eagles were the team that took a chance out of Zach Bond when he was with the Saints last year, and it's also a thing, like we got to talk about maybe taking just a little bit less money, but prioritizing your situation too, Brandon. Because I'm not gonna lie, when we went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, there was a lot of players on our defense that they had great seasons, took the bag elsewhere, and now they're really nowhere to be heard of.
That's the story of like every good defender,
team,
like you know what
it's
I'm
like
saying?
a rotation, like Javon Hargrave. He took the bag from the 49ers, and now he's about to get cut. Hassan Reddick held out, wanted to trade with the Jets. Now look at his situation. Had a couple players like Marcus Epps. He went to the Raiders. Don't really hear of him anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's a situation where staying here, I think Zach Bond would be the best player he could be, especially playing alongside other players like Nolan Smith, Kobe Dean. I feel like we're putting a great linebacking core. I would really want him. If you got to take a little bit less, stay here. But I mean, but then again, get your bag. I can't.
Yeah, teams gonna throw it at him, bro. Chargers, Bengals, like it's some teams that's gonna throw it at him, bro. Like they going, man. But so it is.
And also, I feel like another big factor going into next year that I think they will figure it out, but they got to get that offensive coordinator hired right. They got to get that right because that's a big thing that kind of led to our 2023 collapse. Hiring Brian Johnson after we lost Shane Steichen to Indianapolis. Brian Johnson in that position was pretty terrible, and we hired him. He was a promotion within. He had good connects with Jalen Hurts and his family, and it didn't work out. It just didn't work out at all. Now he's with the Commanders in a minimized role. But speaking about the Commanders, how do y'all feel about them as a threat to the Eagles next year? Because I know a lot of people that are Commanders fans, and they've been popping it all postseason, even with the loss.
So I'm gonna keep it a being. The one player who I really grown to love this season is T. Higgins. The Commanders have a lot of money, right? Not only just the Commanders, the Chargers. Like, there's so many teams that need a wide receiver. If the Commanders get T. Higgins, that's gonna be some fun. I'm not gonna lie, especially considering the season that he had after this season. Pretty sure he missed like 4 games. Like, he missed a good amount of games this season. He was still hooping. Like, and I have him on my fantasy team. Shout out to Jack. I have him on my fantasy team. So I feel like if they just get that receiving core cool, I like obviously Scary Terry. I mean, he's cool, but like I don't think he's as consistent as what people think he is. Brian Robinson's a really good back for them. They have this other wide receiver. He has a very long last name, begins with a Z. I forgot what.
Zacchaeus.
Yes, he's nice. He is nice.
He was in last year.
Yeah. So and then Zach Ertz is only going to get older, but like Zach Ertz, 13 receptions, 12 receptions ain't going. It's not going to happen every game.
Hold on, you don't think Terry in them talks,
bro?
Terry up there.
As soon as he got a guy go second in touchdowns, I feel like he's been playing with lower level talent. I'm pretty sure his name still stays in those top 15, top 20 combos. I definitely think
it's just a matter of like being a deep ball wide receiver one. Like, it's so many times where you can have a great game and then like your bad games can look really bad. You know what I'm saying? But like he's definitely a little bit more versatile than just a deep threat. You know what I mean? But it's just something. He's young, so he's gonna get better at it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I think the Commanders are definitely a team to worry about for sure. But everybody else, bro, like the Packers, like, I'm saying, like I'm not really like Minnesota. Like I don't even know what their QB situation is going to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Are the Bears going to take that next step with Caleb Williams? Like, it's so many questions like around the NFC where the Eagles is just like, we chilling, we good. You know what I mean? So,
before go ahead. Just one last team. How y'all feel about the Rams going into next year? Because they're looking to trade Cooper Kupp. Stafford's future is in question. Still got Puka and Kyron. I don't know. Maybe they make the right moves. Because I only say that because if any team was the closest to knocking off the Eagles in the postseason, it was them, bro. They were a Stafford touchdown drive away from knocking us out in that snowy game, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, that's the closest I felt to being like, yo, this might be wraps, bro.
They were saying that Puka catch was like damn near close to that Kawhi shot on the Sixers. I'm like, Drew, that catch was crazy though. It was sideline right in the snow over 2 people. I'm like, no way they lose this game at home. But
I think they're back in them talks, or are they done?
Well, with the Rams, I think kind of when you got that guy at coach. A lot of things could come and go. I think that Stafford, he solidified or made a Hall of Fame career with his Rams play. We don't know if he would have really went to the Hall of Fame with his just Lions career. He was kind of like that good stats, not winning kind of guy. But he went to the Rams. He became a winner. Became looked at as a top 7-ish quarterback or whatever. So, and we've seen Sean McVay take Jared Goff to the Super Bowl. So I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a rookie. They get somebody young in free agency. If whatever the case may be. I don't think they were a talented team, super talented. This year or last year, made the playoffs both times. So I think that's just a testament to McVay. I definitely wouldn't count that out. When it comes to the Commanders, I definitely think it's still like a few levels before they can really talk to the Eagles. You really got to start with the trenches, offensive line and defensive line before you even talk about anything else. And it just leaps and bounds ahead. Better. The skill positions you could get into that. Who's better. Like it's gonna be closer in those scenarios. But the offensive line and defensive line, that's really where you win games for real. In terms of the NFC, landscape, you know, Lions should be coming back. I think that whole NFC North is probably still going to be, pretty solid. Like just like they were last year, they had 3 teams make the playoffs. I think we do see that again this year. Whether it's the Bears sneaking in, Packers, is keeping how they were, Lions still being as good, Vikings. I think the NFC North is still probably the best overall division in NFC. But the Eagles is their bowl to lose. I think if they stay healthy, it's all on them for real.
I agree. I agree for real.
All right, so we're going to switch gears to the NBA, man. So a big question I wanted to ask y'all, right? What was y'all doing when y'all heard about that Luka and AD trade? Like what exactly was y'all doing?
Bro. So I was in a room, with man to man sock. I was talking to a few other friends as well. We get the news, we get the text. I'm looking at the text. I'm like, Luka Doncic have been traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. I'm like, is this Centel? Like, did I get Centel? Like, what's going on right now? Like, who sent out this tweet? Who was it? Who sent out the tweet again?
Sham.
Shin. So I'm like, yo, someone hacking. What's going on? What are we doing here? Like, stop playing with it. But then as time, 10 minutes go by, I'm seeing, oh, are we all getting hacked? Everyone's talking about it now. Are we all seeing this? Are we all, what exactly is going on there? And that caught me, you feel me, all the way by surprise. I feel like this is one of, if not the craziest move that's ever been done in the NBA for a lot of reasons. I think that number one, that is really grimy of the Mavs' new owner and organization now, the direction they want to move. Essentially, I believe this deal was done because they didn't want to give Luka the supermax. They didn't want to pay him upwards of 350 mil, 400 mil, and instead of that, we'll just try to move forward without him. But you just lost, a dude who didn't even hit 28 yet, who's averaging 29 for a career. That's league altering, and especially for an aging AD, who I believe still is a top 10 player. But I just don't think he's the value. You feel me? He's 7 years older than Luka. I know for sure that with Luka, you've been to the finals, you've been to a conference finals with him as your lead guy, whether you want to call him overweight, fat, however you want to slice it. Fat Luka is better than 99% of the league, you feel me? So I just believe this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Of course, the league allowed us and not CP3 to the Lakers, but I digress.
Oh,
Bro,
man.
it was crazy, bro. I'm on my couch in the basement, just chilling, bro, laying down. Damn near about to go to sleep, bro. It's like damn near 1 a.m. I'm like half asleep, just scrolling through my phone. Put the phone down a little bit. I get a vibration on my phone. Just wanted to see what the notification was. Notification from Shams breaking. The Lakers have traded Anthony Davis to the Mavericks for Luka Doncic. Like I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the tweet. See the verification on it, so it's from his account. Like I knew from jump. Like I didn't get faked out, but I'm like, I didn't think he was hacked. That's the crazy part. Like, I didn't think he was hacked because he kind of like in the tweet, he had said the full details. Like, yeah, Utah, I'm gonna be a third team in this trade and everything. I'm like, okay, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's real or not, but I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. But I feel like that's such a crazy thing to come from his account that once like after 5 minutes it passed, I'm like, bro, this got to be real, bro. Like the fact that this didn't get shut down from anyone right away, it's got to be real because once he sent the tweet out, we didn't hear anything for like the first 5 to 10 minutes. Like it just sent shockwaves throughout. We didn't hear nothing from no other reporters. But I think it was like Chris Haynes 10 minutes later. He's like, I can't confirm that they're making this trade. This is real. And did y'all see the second Shams tweet when he was like, "Yes, this is real"? Like he quoted his own tweet. That made me think that was low-key fake. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm like, bro, why would you come out and confirm that? But
so it's funny because they was like, yeah, like that's why Wolves the GOAT. Wolves will wait for every detail to come out before tweeting. Shams tweeted absent for like 5 minutes because that's what happened with the Harden trade last year.
yeah,
Harden got traded at like 2 a.m. We looking for like other stuff that like he got traded with. Nothing happened, but I was on the phone, and when I seen it, I just kept saying WTF, WTF, even louder, right? So then I had to hang up. I go on my PlayStation party. It's my boy Marvin and my boy Carlton in there. I said, yo, I didn't even like when we usually get in the parties with each other. I said, yo, how you been? Yada yada yada. I just straight said Luka just got traded for AD. My man Marvin like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Why are you lying? No, he didn't. Carlton like, bro, that's BS. Like, why is you coming in here with some BS like that? Then I said, yo, look at your phone. Bro got traded like that. Like you said, bro, it was super slimy, especially considering like you really didn't want to pay the max that bad that you communicated with one team. They communicated with one team. They could have got a way better package. If they would have hit up the Sixers, I'm pretty sure the Sixers would have been like, yo.
everybody would have been on the table. Everybody. No player,
like,
no draft pick, no coach. Anything you wanted. Anything you wanted.
I don't know. Like this is crazy. You know, this is kind of like fitting the whole storyline. Like, you know, I already bet the Lakers to the finals. Like, you feel me? I'm betting on that. Like, I feel like this is kind of, you know, not trying to paint the picture, but you know, you got LeBron, obviously one of the greatest ever. The Lakers, one of the greatest franchises ever. They're known for bringing in stars. You feel me? And Luka's the star, and he's obviously an international star too. His jersey numbers are about to skyrocket. Like he's probably about to be the number one selling jersey soon. I really believe that, especially with his whole brand. And it's just crazy that the Lakers could always, you feel me, pull off these kind of trades, except for the CP3 trade. I'm still on that. You feel me? Kobe would have got another one, but I digress. I still believe that this Lakers team now, you got two. However you feel about LeBron, he's top 10. I feel like Luka's top 5. Like this team, with or without, you know, the center, I don't think they needed Alex Len. That wasn't the answer, if I'm really being honest. But either way, I still feel like this team, besides OKC, like there's no one else I would choose to beat them in the series in the West. And I believe we will get a Celtics Lakers finals. But yeah.
So they played 2 games already. They're 1-1 with Luka so far. One thing I peeped about their offense, and it was kind of like concerning when I first was like analyzing the trade. It's like, all right, like who's going to get the ball? You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, all right, Luka and Bron, they switching off from time to time with the ball majority in their hands. Rui Hachimura has been taking the lead these past 2 games. I'm liking how they're using Rui now. It's really just the interior, bro. Like you got Jackson Hayes as your first line of defense in the paint. Like that's nasty work. And then you got Alex Len coming out the bench. That Mark Williams trade would have been huge, but apparently, like something's wrong with it. He must have told it.
Calling that trade back is crazy.
Like bro,
crazy.
he must have tore his ACL, PCL, MCL, like CDL. Like he must have tore something crazy because they was like, yo, he not healthy. So I'm like, and then the Hornets put out a statement like, yeah, we're glad to have Mark Williams back on the team. Yada yada. I'm like, yo, like,
get out of here.
And if I'm Dalton Connect, I'm coming back to the Lakers. I'm like,
crazy.
You feel me? Like what's up? Like,
get out of here, bro.
Like what? Like trading me? What I do?
It's crazy because like I do get why they traded Dalton though, because like you already got Luka, you already got Reeves, you got that same archetype of players not really playing much D. need the ball in their hands to really be effective. So I mean, I thought the Mark Williams trade would have been cool. Now I thought they did overpay a little bit. They gave up like a first round pick and a first round spot.
Yeah, I thought they overpaid for Mark as well, and I don't like Mark is he's cool, I guess, but he's not super moving the needle. Like, I think this team right here, and don't get me wrong, they are, you feel me, small or whatever. You feel me? AD was excellent for a center. Maybe that would have worked out, but
That's what I'm saying. Like, you couldn't have did that trade when AD was on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's another thing. But you feel me? So ADX for a center, they got him out of there. I feel like that was crazy. But I feel like for this team, like they give Vando back. He's about 6'10". Rui's about 6'9", 6'10". LeBron's about 6'9", 6'10".
DFS.
They have the ability to run these. It may be 4'6'9" guys and above, but maybe no one's 7'1". Like I feel like you could do that in this type of NBA. I feel like that could work for them. And then Jackson Hayes, as much as he's not that good or whatever, he's someone who tries hard and plays hard. That's someone I could get with. You feel me? He's not going, BS me with effort. And I know he always trying to bang. So I feel like he got lively potential. He got lively potential.
So,
What's
my fault,
crazy?
Jack.
Like they could run it. Like you do bring up a good point, Real. They could run some small ball units. The fact that they do have DFS now is a good job because we've seen the best ball that he played when he was in Dallas with Luka. So I think having that pairing with Luka and a player like that.
And then you bring Kleber back. That's also another 6'10" guy. I don't know how injured or will he get minutes or not, but that's also another body. Like I didn't like the Alex Len pickup. Y'all know I'm kind of a Lakers fan, in some ways, and I wasn't really feeling that, Alex Len pickup. But I do think, like, if we're being real, if we're just gonna switch it up now, like, who do we believe can actually take down a team of Luka, LeBron, and AR is becoming like I'm sure we don't look at him as a role player. At least I don't. I feel like he's one of the better, number 3 options in the league.
He up there now, bro.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to touch on the Mavs side of the trade real quick. I watched their first game against Houston, and AD was snapping. Like he had like 13, 6 and 3 in the first quarter. Like, and then like a steal, 2 blocks. Like he was snapping. And then that connection with him and Gafford was really good as well. When they finally put him next to a center, an athletic center at that. But AD got hurt out indefinitely. I mean, probably for like a month or so. You know what I mean? And then after that,
weeks.
Exactly. Like the whole Mavs team just started getting the injury bug. Like, and I'm glad like Max Christie is getting some burn because Max Christie is nice. You know what I'm saying? Max Christie got traded along with AD. So, and he's been putting up some good numbers. But as far as like a team that can beat the Lakers, I mean, I just feel like Nuggets. Like I think if you have a dominant center or like just like an all-around offense that distributes the ball, you know what I'm saying, attacks the perimeter a lot, you know what I'm saying, because the Lakers aren't really a bad perimeter team per se, but like if you get like the right team that's always attacking the basket, always attacking the rim, you know what I'm saying, nice little attack, kick out to the corner, it's always going to be a team that like basketball is a strategy game. For basketball is basically like chess against 2 coaches, you know what I'm saying? All you really got to do is master a game plan and really just hope your defense doesn't fold against Luka and Bron. And I don't know, but they are definitely a top 2 team right now. You know
that sounds way easier said than done,
bro. I mean, look, the Jazz did it. I don't know.
They try and get it figured out, and I do believe the Nuggets are my number 3 team. I don't think no one else. I believe no one else in the West has a chance. Maybe the Warriors. Obviously, they're old. I don't know how y'all feel about the Jimmy Butler pickup. We're gonna get into that, but I do believe those are top 3 teams, and it will come down to those 3 teams: OKC, Lakers, and the Nuggets. Obviously, the Nuggets have the best player in the world. Can never count out a team with that. But I honestly feel like the Nuggets should have made one more deal. I think they're missing like a little more shooting. Like Russell, Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon, like 3 of your top 5 players aren't the best of shooters, and I'm not a fan of that recipe. But Jokic could, average 35, 11, and 12, and maybe overcome those deficits. But I think it'll be a little hard for him this year.
So I want to ask y'all about first. We're gonna get to that Jimmy trade. The one team that I feel like has just been pump faking all season. The one team I feel like has been pump faking all season is the Phoenix Suns. They threatened to trade Brad Beal. Brad Beal didn't get traded. Then these KD rumors popped up. Another thing, I feel like the Luka Doncic trade, trade was a domino effect. Like as soon as Luka gets traded, now KD's available to trade. Now the Jimmy Butler trades start picking up more. Like it was just that was just goes to show like like these owners still got the power. Like be sure like the Players Association, the Players Union, they still got everything they wanted, like contracts and everything like that. But these owners can like still run the league a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, all right, you look at the Suns, right? They talking, oh yeah, KD to the Warriors. KD didn't want to go to the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? KD to whoever. I was hearing Houston. Like I was hearing all these teams, and KD just ended up getting not traded. And now KD's on the type time he don't even know if he want to come back. You feel what I'm saying? So now if you're Phoenix, you wasted everybody's time. You wasted the fans' time. You wasted your fans' time, and you also wasted Brad Beal and KD's time. Because now it's like, all right, you starting to trade them. Now they're back on the team, and you're going to have to win with this duo. And mind you, I'm pretty sure they're in the play-in spot. They're like 10th or 9th. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now mind you, with Devin Booker, KD, you can get out the play-in. But now you got to face a top seed like OKC or Houston, or if the Lakers start winning more, the Lakers, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you putting yourself at risk. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just like, like, I don't know where that team direction is going. I wouldn't even be surprised if Devin Booker requested a trade at this point in time. You know what I mean? But how do y'all feel about the Suns right now?
Go ahead, Jay.
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, bro. It's a Cook situation.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal is making $50 million US in 2025 with a no trade clause. He's an unremovable contract. You got Devin Booker. I'm not really too worried about Booker's long-term future in Phoenix. I think he's still a Phoenix lifer. I don't really think the state of the team really affects him much, given that he spent like the first 6 or 7 years of his career on below 500 teams. But KD is the one I'm looking at, because the fact that they were so aggressive to move him in this scenario to the Warriors, a Western Conference rival, and the fact that they were a KD approval away from making that monumental deal. So now that you're past the deadline, you put everybody but Devin Booker in trade rumors, and you expect this team to now go make a run to a championship, especially a team that's already flawed. You don't really have draft picks to improve beyond this year. If it doesn't work, your team is currently in the play-in, and y'all have the biggest payroll in the league. So overall, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this season ends for them. I don't really think they even make the playoffs, honestly. I think they probably fall short in the play-in. But I think the first question this summer we ask league-wide is, what's Kevin Durant thinking? Like, what's on his head? Like, does he want to stay in Phoenix? Because I'm not surprised if those trade rumors, or those trade talks rather, pick back up in the summer.
Yeah, for me, this is just the first time where I've actually thought like a Kevin Durant-led team doesn't have a shot. This is the first time I've thought that, and that's basically what I gotta say about it. You feel me? Devin Booker is still really good. I even think Bill is solid, but the team around them, and then in that locker room now, it can't feel like a group that's close knit no more. Like everyone's probably feeling KD's, on the way out. And Brad Bill, he already got benched because he's not trying to fix his no trade clause, and he's getting less minutes, and the team's obviously been having discussions with him. So I just believe the whole team and the environment is a little shaky, and internally this team is I know it can't get nowhere.
They're cooked, bro. They're
Cooked product, man. But on to the Golden State Warriors trade for Jimmy Butler. They are 3-1 with Jimmy Butler.
Good.
It's crazy because I'm not gonna say. I'm trying to say this like Jimmy Butler. I'm not gonna say Jimmy Butler is a system player, but like if you put him in that right system, he's gonna hoop. You know what I'm saying? And it's looking like what they did with the Golden State trade was right. I was kind of surprised that the Grizzlies. He didn't want to go to the Grizzlies, but I guess it was just because he didn't think the Grizzlies were going to re-sign, because that's really what he wanted. He really just wanted the bread, the extension. You know what I mean? The Warriors gave him the bread. Now he's hooping. He's been putting in a good. I'm a betting man. I look at the player combos. I think he's been putting up a good points, rebounds, assists combined ratio. I'm pretty sure it's like 33, 34, over 29. Like he's been stuffing the stat sheet a lot. I want to ask y'all, what does this Jimmy trade do for the Warriors? And going to Miami, what are you doing for Miami now? Like if you're a GM for Miami, if you're Pat Riley, what's the next step?
Well, I can speak for at least Miami first. Pat Riley, he got what he wanted. You feel me? He got Butler out of there. He didn't want to pay him. You feel me? He believes he's an Asian player. He doesn't believe that he's for the long term, and you got rid of him for chips. You feel me? Obviously, he don't gotta pay the contract, but that just basically took them out of title contention, I believe, for the next few years. I believe Butler is a player who is still underrated, have been underrated throughout his career. I feel like he is that needle mover. He's brung that same Miami team who we believe is, hot trash and, usually not that good. He bring them to the finals twice. You feel me? He brung the Celtics to a Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals. Like, he's done a lot with that team, and I believe he's going to make a lot of the same impact on the Warriors. We can already see Steph's getting way more open looks now. Defenses have to cater to Jimmy now. You have to put one of your better defenders on Jimmy, or it's going to be a long night. And then we know as the playoffs come, he's a clutch performer. I believe that Steph will have another, not even a Robin. You have a 1-2 punch right here. Like, this is 1A 1B. And I believe that the Warriors, they can make a sneaky run. I've been seeing people say that that's not really the deal. It doesn't move nothing. I think it does. It just opens up stuff way more. People said stuff have been declining this year. I'm not necessarily in agreement with that. People's not going to average 30 every year. That's why I don't look at, you feel me, strictly season by season numbers. What do you bring when it matters, and like how have you fared throughout your career matters more to me rather than just what have you done in 2024 or 2025. I think Steph is still one of the better players in the league, and I think it's starting to show a little more. He's averaging 30 over these past 4 games, and I believe like as they keep getting the chemistry right, this team, I like them beating the Rockets. Call me crazy. I like them, I like them beating the Grizzlies. Like I said, I named my 3 teams who I think are the best in the West, but the Warriors are my number 4. So that's how I go about that.
No, I like the trade a lot, bro. Like, I think adding Jimmy brought another dimension, like in terms of wing play that they haven't had since KD left there. Like, it's been a it's been a while since they had someone that dynamic that can affect the game on both ends the way he does, the way he adds extra ball handling and makes Steph more of a better off ball player now. Like, Draymond, he's good with pushing the ball up, but he's not really a threat to score. I think
Mhm.
adding Jimmy, that opens up Steph a lot more. Jimmy, he's playing really better defensively than I thought. Not saying that he was ever a bad defender. He was always a great defender, but over the past years, he's kind of been putting that away a little bit, focusing more on the offensive end. But I don't know. I just think this Golden State situation, he just has something to prove. Like being suspended multiple times by Miami, having that whole drama go on. I think the fact that he's in a new situation, he was right where he probably just needed a new situation for his happiness to come back, and he thought that it wasn't going to happen in Miami anymore. And honestly, I think there are some good teams that are established in the West already, but Rel, you're right. Like if I had a top 3, Golden State would probably be like right outside of that. Like that could probably be the team to where like, yo, I'm not counting them out, especially Steph Curry.
Mhm.
Like, yo, just put the chips in for one more run, and I'm gonna show you what I could do. And I'm excited to see what they could do. I mean, that's gonna be a good team. Like so far, I've been watching them. Like the first game, he had like 25, had like 15 in the second half. He's a player that can always rise his game to um, the stakes and everything. And I think that's a player that Steph needs besides him because Steph, he's that type of player too. But also talking about the Miami side of it, I don't think they're that bad of a position. Like the fact that they barely really had Jimmy this season, he was in and out the lineup. He wasn't really an established player for them anyway. I do think the Tyler Hero jump has been big for them. The fact that they got Andrew Wiggins, that's not really that much of a fall off from Jimmy Butler. Like obviously, Wiggins doesn't have that extra gear that Jimmy can go to, but on the surface level, Wiggins is a solid 3-and-D wing who can play damn near every night. He has great availability, can shoot the 3 ball well, can guard the best opposing offensive player. They do have Khalil Ware, the rookie, the big man. He's been coming out of his own. He's been really showing the spark, getting like 20 and 15 games. Still got Bam over there. Miami always going to be a team to compete. Like you said, Rel, they might not be in the conversation to come out the Eastern Conference, but I think if they can ride out this core for a couple years, they'll definitely be a destination for the next group of stars to hit the market. So we'll see from here. But I think they made out pretty well.
That's real. And I think the last team I want to talk about here, man, obviously Philly has a lot to enjoy with the Eagles. But the Sixers, man, my God. I mean, hey, y'all got what y'all wanted, man. Y'all got y'all little podcast, B. Y'all got y'all little. I'm saying, I just want to know, like, but for example, like, all right, so he has been dealing with a lot of injury. Apparently, he's gonna have to need surgery for his knee, right? Then you got Paul George over here saying, "Yo, like it's been tough playing." He basically made it seem like he's getting injections before the game. You know what I mean? Like he's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? And the Sixers just got through a gauntlet of just facing really good teams, and they performed pretty solid. But Jay, as a Sixers fan, bro, you can definitely comment on this too. What do you think they should do at this point? Because I feel like the top 6 seed is locked, right? Mm-hmm. Top 6 seed is locked. I don't think they're moving up any more than that. Probably not even 7 seed. What do you think these guys need to do to even just get in the play and then survive the play like that? Like, what's your thoughts right now?
You know my answer to that? Don't get in the playing. Don't get in the playing, bro. Shut it down, bro. And this is not me saying like I want my team to lose repeatedly. But right. Bro, look at the state you're in. You're 20-34. You're already 14 games under 500, heading to the All-Star break with 28 games remaining. You already don't have Jared McCain, your rookie of the year talent. He's already out for the year. So no matter how far you think you can go, you're already missing an important piece to you. You don't have him. Joel Embiid, he needs another surgery. He needs another knee surgery. And to have him play through high-stake games late in the season, I love Joel, but we all know the inevitable there. Like, it's just gonna keep on damaging his knee to the point to where when he gets the second surgery, probably gonna be missed like the first couple months of next season. So you might as well just shut him down now while you still have a few months left of this season. This year is already lost. Let him sit out. PG, I mean, he's been playing pretty bad, but like with the news coming out that he does need injections and all that, like, bro, don't even force it. I mean, because we're not winning games anyway. And it's not like we're making a run. It's not like we went from 15 games under 500 to now we're 7 games under 500. We're right there. We still have a long ways to go, and I just don't see things turning around. Even Maxey didn't play the last game before the All-Star break with a knee injury. Like, bro, just sit everybody out. Try your best to keep your draft pick in the top 6, because if it goes to 7, it's OKC's draft pick, which is crazy to say.
Insane. But they were saying we was going to give them the draft pick. But I digress.
I wasn't in that group of people.
It seemed like it. It seemed like it.
Overall, bro, just shut it down, bro. I don't got no hope in that team this year. And I do think that if they can just get healthy next year with a healthy Jared McCain, like, I think not having McCain, like, he was going into the season, I didn't expect him to have much of a role, but he was such an unnecessary necessity for the Sixers. Because he's also another guard that can get you 15 to 20 alongside Maxey. In the games that Embiid didn't play, he also offered a spark of offense. So missing him is crucial. But, bro, just go into next year, focus on that. Focus on re-signing Yabusele, because he's been a big piece for us this year. And not going to lie, you might have to spend a long time in summer looking at your coaching situation, bro. Because I know a lot of times when situations don't go right, the first thing we do look at is the coach. But, my God, am I disappointed with Nick Nurse now. Obviously, there's been a lot of different lineup combinations, a lot of different in and out with injuries, but his creativity just hasn't been there for me, and he hasn't really made much of a bust. Like, I've seen other teams, like even the Nets, like we played them the other day, their coach, he's been making the most out of their situation, and they're tanking. Like, they have a bunch of scrubs over there. Like, just to be honest, like, they don't have Ben Simmons over there no more. Cam Thomas isn't playing games, and we damn near have the same record. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where
it's not even just him. Like, the Blazers coach hasn't making the best out of the situation. I think they went on a nice little like
they won like 10 out of 11. Like,
and then even the Utah Jazz coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're making the most out of their situation. You know what I mean? Like, it really like you said, it really just all depends on the coach what he can make out of the situation. Like you said, Nick Nurse just isn't creative with his lineups anymore. And then on top of that, like, you can't even blame injuries, because it's like, all right, like, you knew the type of team you was going to have since
going into the
season. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you knew this already. You know what I'm saying? And then you also knew all the members of your team. Like, Justin Edwards needs more tick. You know what I'm saying? Ricky Council needs more tick. You feel me? Like, maybe call some guys from the G League if you want to shut everything down. Just call some guys from the G League. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to not even just rebuild, but just retool.
Have a down year, bro.
Have a down year, exactly. We was talking about last year if they was going to have a down year. You feel what I'm saying? So now it's just it's different now. Obviously, the circumstances are different. I think they need to just shut it down. Just let him be rest. Let him get his surgery or whatever. Because like you said, by the time the season finishes and he wants to get his surgery, he's going to miss the beginning of the all next season. Paul George, you're getting injections, bro. Just sit out, bro. You even got your money. Just sit out. You don't even know. You don't even have to do what you're doing. And then even when you're on the court, you're not really doing what you have to do anyway.
2 points. 2 points in his last game.
Yeah, like come on, bro.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I believe that it all started June 2024 when Joel Embiid decided that he was gonna play in the Olympics. I believe that that's where this season all started. I don't believe Nick Nurse should be fired. He should at least be given one more year because y'all saying he should have known this, he should have known that. There's nothing he could have did to stop Joel Embiid from playing on an already bum knee. Like that's just not the smart move to be playing in the Olympics on that stage when your knee is already hurt. Like that has nothing to do with Nick Nurse. Also making front office moves like Paul George was. I don't know how y'all feel about him, but he's just not the guy. He's just never been the guy. I never liked the pickup, especially for the amount of money you're giving him. Like, I feel like that those two things have nothing to do with Nick Nurse. A lot of other moves could have been made. And then PG, like on the court, like, the dude can't separate no more from other players. Everything seems contested. Everything's just way harder. Like, I don't know. I believe that this is the basically the last time where Joel Embiid's price is gonna be high. I feel like this offseason you move him or within the next year you move him. I would try to move Paul George. Like honestly, I would unfortunately Jay, I would trust the new process. I'm going.
You know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy?
McCain, Maxey, and Justin Edwards for my future, and we could go from there. You feel me? I feel like that unit, if you give them the reins and tell them, yo, y'all are my guys I trust, I feel like those three guys, they take basketball very serious. They all play hard defense. They all, you feel me, are wired correctly. Like, you feel me? Joel Embiid, I never liked how he was wired. Like, I never liked the way PG was definitely wired. Like, PG was always been, you feel me, something else to me. Joel, he worries about the wrong things. I just feel like he isn't serious when he should be at times. And I feel like he just worried about the wrong things as well. Like this team was definitely a ultimate disaster, if you ask me. And it's pretty disappointing, But it's not shocking to me. Like I know it's shocking not in the playoffs, but shocking that it didn't work out, yes. I couldn't have imagined it was gonna look this bad. But honestly, I think next year, this summer, feel me, within the next year, like this is Joel Embiid's last. You feel me? Time when people will want him. If people even want him now, you feel me? If I was an owner, I probably wouldn't want a 31-year-old guy who's with bum knees. I probably wouldn't want that. But I feel like there's certain teams that you could still, go get some solid for, at least get some picks for. Go to OKC route, you feel me? Just start it all over, you feel me? Trust the process again, That's how I feel about it.
I was gonna say, like when you said trust the new process, I'm not opposed to that, but you also got to think like trying to sell those players right now is like selling extremely low. And I'm kind of on the point to where I don't want to invest no more picks, no more pieces into making this team better. I feel like the core that we have already, if they were healthy, wouldn't be as bad as what they are right now. But I'm kind of on the thing where it's like you kind of have to go into next year, pray that everything works out. So if 2026 in the playoffs they fall short, at least you can sell those pieces and say, hey, we got to the playoffs. We got at least deep in the playoffs to where we could show off Joel. Joel can still hoop at a high level. PG can still hoop at a high level. Because if you trade them now, then you might have to take some of your pieces to attach to those players to get them out of here. I don't even think this.
Would that be wrong if you could keep Maxey, McCain, and Justin? Is everyone else out? I'm sure you like Yabasale. I'm sure you like. I mean, they could keep Yabasale. I think he's solid too. I'm sure you like.
They should keep him. They should keep him.
I'm sure they like Council. I'm sure they like
Quentin Grimes, like
Quentin
they got.
Grimes, I feel like they're all disposable. Like Quentin Grimes is disposable. Like I'm
You think
sure.
so?
Yes, absolutely.
Man,
Like I don't believe he's not game changing. Like add him to a trade, you can get, let's say you can trade him and B for just like a nice 23-year-old player. I'd do it. Like I feel like we know Maxi can be an All NBA talent. McCain was on his way was to averaging 20 and 5 when he got the reins. Justin Edwards, we need to see him with the ball more. I mean, Justin Edwards, yeah, we need to see him with the ball more. Like we know that he's stamped the NBA player now. He's not going back and forth with the G League no more. We know he's a talented player. I feel like if you give him the keys, these young guys the keys, obviously, y'all are still technically in win now mode. That's why you went and got a Nick Nurse. That's why you go get a PG. That's why you go get Eric Gordon for depth, I guess. You feel me? But
I guess right.
Kyle, Kyle Lowry for
Kyle
depth, I
Lowry,
guess. You feel me?
he needs to get
Reggie Jackson for depth.
Reggie Jackson, I guess. You feel me? But all these pieces are movable. Like you don't need them next year. None of them will be there next. A lot of them won't be there next year, and it won't make any difference.
right. But I will say though, I think moving PG is more of a dire thing than Joel, bro. Because like you said, like Joel, yeah, he's been injury prone and
I
everything.
agree with that. I agree with that.
Like you can't find another center. Like as much time that he does miss, I think his 2-man game with Maxey, he brings the most out of Maxey. I'm not gonna lie, when he's healthy. And I think having him on the floor with a Maxey and McCain next year going forward, I'm not in a dire position to move Joel because, like you said, he can't stay healthy. Makes like
I agree with that.
fresh off a new extension too, which is
That's what I'm saying. Y'all about to, for the next 4 years, what is it, 4 or 5 years? Y'all are moving forward with Joel. Like, that's why I say, like, I don't know who would take that contract, but I wouldn't be mad at y'all if y'all got out of that situation. Don't get me wrong. You feel me? Joel, when healthy, obviously a great player. You put him, Maxey, McCain, Justin Edwards. I like that. Shit, if you could get rid of PG, had that 4, build around them 4, that's better than a lot of teams in the East. You feel, but that's if we get Embiid who can play at least 50 games, and
right.
We know how that get.
Because the crazy thing is like last season when we played the Knicks in the playoffs, Embiid and Maxey averaged 30 apiece, and I feel like the main reason why we lost that series was because we didn't have the pieces that could go with New York's role players. We didn't have forwards that can combat Josh Hart going for like 15 rebounds or a defender to throw on Jalen Brunson going for 45 points a game. Like we didn't need another star to average 22 points. Like we were good on the points tip. We needed players that can go after rebounds like a Yabusele. Other players that can hit, catch and shoot threes like Quentin Grimes. Like you said, Ray, like don't get me wrong, these players are replaceable, but these kind of are the pieces that you want to put around a team that has a Maxey and an Embiid. And hopefully this offseason, if they're going to make any roster changes around this core, maybe they can go get another guard that can maybe average like 7 assists per game just to make Maxey more of a score first guard again. Because I do think having him on the ball more kind of limits him because he's a first player. He's not a player really looking to get assists. And I think making him just putting him in the offense, putting him and McCain in the offense to where you're telling them just to go score, go get buckets, I think that's better for everybody.
Yeah, no, I'd say like Maxey as a 2 guard, I definitely would agree. But like I feel like next year you start McCain and Maxey. That's how I would go about it. You feel me? I think McCain, if you want him to play more of a 1, he can, and he has that ability to play more of the 1. Let Maxey do more of the 2, and you feel me? You go from there. I do think like both of those players need to be getting a lot of time. If you don't start McCain, I guess, but he should at least be like 6th man of the year next year. Like we can see the talent; it was all there, and it's not just the talent. He was a dog. He fights defensively. Like he brings everything you need as a young player. I feel like he showed out this year, and I feel like Justin Edwards, Maxey, and Embiid, for that matter, that could be a solid team. That can be, but with the Sixers for the past 5 years, always if wins and buts. You feel me? Rather than actually seeing potential and seeing things out on the court go right.
And I will say just 2 more things. I do feel like even though the optics look terrible and that we were fresh off signing PG, the Warriors were desperate, bro. Like before they got Jimmy, they were desperate. They wanted to start next to Steph Curry. We could have took advantage of that, bro. We could have took advantage of that.
But like, what would you have gotten out of that though? Like,
Wiggins.
Something.
What they traded?
Anything would have been better than PG. Anything would have been better than
Like,
PG.
Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, like Kyle Anderson. Bro, I would have took that.
Yes.
Draft pick, I would have took that.
Absolutely.
I would have took that.
Yes.
And also,
All day, twice on Sundays, bruh.
Oh man.
Also, like, even though like the slander I gave Nick Nurse, I do think he could have been better. But it's like you said, Rel. It starts at the top. Daryl Morey needs to be held accountable most out of anything.
Yes.
The man that put the roster together, the cap space plan, the quote unquote cap space plan, he needs to be held accountable.
I'm gonna be honest. You feel me? Philly just need to make a whole John Howie Roseman for the Eagles and Sixers. He makes all the moves. You feel me? They need to do something like that because Darryl hasn't been doing the best of jobs. I'm sure he thought the PG was a John. You feel me? I'm sure he thinking these old players, these old Lowrys, these Eric Gordons, these Reggie Jackson, these Asian guys, you feel me, was a solid move. They just weren't. They just weren't. I like the McCain pick, but that's probably the best thing he's done in about 2 years. You feel me? 2-3 years.
Sure. Sixers are cooked, bro. Sixers are cooked. That's all I had to say about that.
Hey,
So you got some thoughts?
Nah, I don't.
Staying good. Clippers, they just got Ben Simmons. I know you staying good. The little playmaker over there with James Harden.
Yo. 12, 7, and 6 with 3 steals and a block. I'm cool. I didn't even want him, but we got him. You know what I mean? I take him. I mean,
Kevin hype.
I know. He been popping it. I mean, he played really solid. There were a lot of opportunities for him to like. He had the ball where he was going downhill in the fast break and everything like that. And then like we went into overtime with the Jazz. And he was playing center. And he was pretty effective at center as well. There was a nice play where he flashed up to the free throw, got the ball, quick pass right to Batum for the corner 3. You know what I'm saying? That's all I really take. Then he was also great on like off ball movement, like cutting, setting little screens so Bogey can get around them. We also got Bogey, by the way, which was another good pickup for the Clippers. I mean, he's not a needle mover, but like, you know, he's something. He's definitely better than whatever KPJ was doing. Like, you know what I mean? So win is a win in my opinion.
Y'all got him for the minimum. Ben Simmons on the minimum is a W. And
that's a W for anybody. So I mean, I wish y'all would have took him for on the minimum. I mean,
as much criticism as I give Ben, like having him, like if he's not on a max contract, he can offer way more than his current value. So
yeah, for sure.
That's a dub for sure.
For sure. But anybody got anything else?
All right, man. I'm glad we back into it. We had a long hiatus, but you know, back and more episodes to come. You feel me? I hope that everyone's ready. Hope that everyone's tuned in. More Instagram, TikTok, Twitter content on the way as well.
Yes, sir.
Everyone's
YouTube too, man. Hit that subscribe, like, show support, man.
I'm saying notification bell, all that. Need all that, man. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun 2025 for sure.
I agree.
Yes, sir.
Sure, we gonna catch you on the next one though, man. Peace.
All right.